Hey everyone, and welcome to Heavy Thursdays, and today we have a special tank that we're going to put on preview today, and that is the Defender, the Object 252U. Now this thing is a monster, and I have to pause it right here because a lot of people have a difficulty penning this thing, so I'm just going to quickly sum up how to do exactly that. If these things approach you from the front, you need about 210 to go through it with a 50-50 chance, which is not good enough for me, so what I do is I just go for these. And a lot of the time this actually scares the living hell out of them. They don't know how they've been panned, they don't know that that's actually a weakness that they have. You'll find 90% of the people that own one of these things don't even realize that you can pen this, and you will. You will pen this almost every single time. If you're in a tier 7 heavy tank, this is the most important thing that you need to know about this tank. But just don't go for this lower plate. It's really bouncy, and look, when he angles it, it goes up by 20 millimeters. When he angles it even more, it goes even higher, and the pike nose doesn't work like it does on the IS-3. It actually gets worse. Oh no, it does work like it does on the IS-3, but it just doesn't come down enough. I mean, if it comes around like this, well, yeah, track it. Easy track. Straight through the track, into there, just don't fire heat. If you don't know what heat does, then yeah, you need to find out, because heat will not go through these tracks. APCR, AP, straight through these tracks, straight. Yeah, side armor, this is the only place that you can pen it. You can track it and also pen it. Don't use heat down here, but go through the middle here. Don't go through the top here. The angle is, I mean, it's okay. You can still get through it. It's a 50% angle, 52-degree angle, so you know you can still pen it. The problem is though, if you go for this lower area, 1, you can hit its tracks and track it. 2, you're less likely to hit this, and 3, that's how low the tank is. So look at that area that you have to shoot at. 3, yeah, you can go through the back here and track it as well. Now one of the biggest things I noticed that people do is they try to shoot the side of the turret. If you can avoid this, try not to do this. There is no ammo rack here. The ammo rack is actually located here, which is unfair, I know, but a lot of Russian tanks actually have their ammo rack located here, as a lot of massive TD players have found out. If they can pen this, they can ammo rack the tank in one hit. So that is something that happens, and that's my Discord down the bottom there popping up. Yeah, if you get this thing's reared, try not to shoot these, just shoot this. The engine is located in here, obviously. The fuel tanks are located somewhere towards the sides, like that. But yeah, there is ammo rack capacity around this zone, so in line with this, there's where the ammo rack, because the loader sits here. So he can load from the front and put in there, or he can grab from the side and put in there. So here's where the ammo rack is. But yeah, just quickly, that's how you pen it. Right there. So now that you've seen pretty much how to pen this thing, you should be a little bit more informed about how dangerous this thing can be on the battlefield. And its gun is okay. Its gun's actually quite nice. It's got a lot of alpha. And its armor can really keep it in the game, and that's why I wanted to highlight it, because it is the feature of the tank that gives it its power, is its armor, and the way that it can use its armor to get the gun to do what it needs to do, to stay in the fight for as long as possible so it can get the gun firing. And as you can see here, Patketina, I'm just going to call her Pat, or him Pat, is going to be in a tier 10 game. Comes across the IS-7, he puts in his second shot. The first shot was in the T95. And we're on Westfield, and as you know, with Westfield, something always goes wrong. It looks like there's a lot of stuff going wrong down south. Medium tanks, a couple of them have come up here, which is probably why they're losing down there. The T62A, he's decided, I'm going to be a Unicum, I'm going to do what all the Unicums do in all those Unicum videos, and they go north. Well, what that's done is that's opened up the door for the Bat Chat, the Grill, the Centurion 7-1, the RU-251, the WZ-132A. he's given a myriad of tanks the opportunity to do something down south, which the T-62A could have stopped at least 2 of them and evened out the numbers. The Object 430, the Tier 9 version, is also up here. So Pat's really got their work cut out for them here. He needs to... I can't really tell which is a he or she. Patketina. It sounds like one of those... He puts a shot into the back of the IS-7, sets him on fire. Awesome work there. So he just means she. We'll just go with that. Can he get the second shot? Oh, almost hits the E4, but he can get the second shot. So it's 3 really good shots into a top tier heavy tank, and in a credit tank, that's just going to bring so much credits. Tries to look for a shot. He has one, but he decides to go for the top. If anything, it would have been the front plate. These tanks basically have the same hull armor, just a little bit thickness difference. Goes for the 50 TP instead of the IS-7. The IS-7 decides, oh, I'm not going to go for the object because too much armor, which it really isn't. When you're on higher ground, you should have finished that off, Pat. That was rushed it. You really did. You were too afraid of taking a shot from the 50 TP. You know where the grill is. You can see him on the map. Goes for lower plate on the 50 TP. Good shot. 50 TP using the smaller gun here, so its rate of fire is quite high. As you can see, he's already loaded after firing a shot recently. Tries to go for the cupola and actually gets it. Russian accuracy bias. That was definitely not fully aimed. Well, it was fully aimed to a degree. There were certain levels of, how would you say, dispersion values involved there that were reducing the accuracy, which are pretty high on heavy tanks, but not as high as they are on medium tanks or light tanks. Now, Pat's team's got themselves into a world of difficult choices here. All of their medium tanks are dead. They have no tier 10 tanks left. The Batchat and the grill are on a rampage. There's the grill there. Can he put a shot in? He can. He misses the track. Doesn't get a crit. Unfortunate. Sees the Batchat. Oh, sees the RU, sorry. But the RU sees him. Now he needs to get away from this grill. Uses this house to keep his lower plate out of distance. The Batchat fires one. The Batchat and the RU fire. And he's so lucky that he didn't get tracked then. Because that was the zone that I was talking about earlier, where if you're going to get penned in this thing from the side, that's where they're going to aim. The grill totally forgets that there is a defender in the scam and gets punished again. So as you can see, it doesn't take too long to aim in this tank. Because of its top speed, its dispersion on the move quickly adjusts itself to its accuracy very quickly, kind of like an IS-6 does. The slower a tank is, the quickly the dispersion value goes down. And there you go, he tracks the grill this time. Can someone finish him off? No, the Lerva and the Sioux are just too low for that kind of help. You can see the Batchat, but he is spotted. The Batchat's tracked. He could finish him here, and he does. He gets the Batchat. Now that's a huge kill. He's got the grill still in front of him. He might be able to pop up, but no, he's not going to, because he's not being spotted anymore by the Lerva or the Sioux. Oh, yes he is. But, oh, there's a Progetto. He needs to, yeah, he gets shot through the bottom plate. There you go, the Progetto got enough penetration to go through that lower plate. That's a situation where you've got to fire at the lower plate. Can't go for the top bar there, have to go for the lower plate. You got enough penetration, got to be a big boy, make them count. So the defender now, Pat, has to work out what's going on. He's been called down to assist with the huddle that is apparently occurring at B67. But Pat has decided that, no, I want to make sure that if someone tries to flank you from the top of the hill, I'm here to help. because I'm no good to you guys down there, it'll pull me right out of position and we won't have coverage. And that's a very good line of thought. He wants the coverage here. He thinks the Brigetto wouldn't have done that alone. Someone had to come with him. He could be wrong, of course, but it's a good guess. It really is. He's going to take a snapshot here at the 54 mod 1, but you can see on the map that he's missed by about 50 meters. The 54 mod 1 is still spotted. The Centurion 7-1 rushes the huddle that's happening at B67 and kills the Su-130. Now, Pat has to come down and help because this huddle has just proven that there are no tanks flanking. In fact, the medium tanks are all coming from this direction. The grill is in fact the one that is flanking, and he may take a long time to get around. So he can catch them off guard, get the Centurion. Here's the 54 mod 1 right in front of him. He takes a shot from the flank, so he knows he can't reverse anymore because the 5100 is still on the hill. That means whoever's down here, it is always minus the 5100. There's the 132. 132, very nimble tank. If he can land a shot, he can't get behind him. He has to keep using his armor. Front of the armor is not pointing towards them, so goes forward, hits the 54 mod 1. Realizes the 54 mod 1's got tanks behind him, so he drives forward. Now the 132 is he's using the dead Rex to cover his weak points. Mod 1 makes a huge mistake by going over and not firing. And he's worried out of it because he wants to get a clean shot, but he knows he can't. So he doesn't fire and holds his shell. And because of the pressure he's under, he misses the shell. And he follows it up by missing another shell. In the meantime, Pat puts down the 132A. And the mod 1 is now worried out of his dead mind. Oh, I should have finished him off there. Mod 1 doesn't know where to shoot him. With gold, I think the mod 1 has 230 pen, and he's not even going to choose to load it. Oh, the mod 1 fires AP, hits him in the side, doesn't go through. Looks like Pat's just completed a mission by putting down that grill. Gets his top gun. And this mod 1, well, bit humiliating, but what can you do? He had plenty of opportunity to kill him then. It really should have happened, but it just didn't. The 132A really screwed up by driving past him, tried to get his flank, tried to get his bum, didn't work. And now Pat is in an, well, I wouldn't say favourable position. In fact, I wouldn't say that at all. This 5100 has more than likely got more view range than the Defender. As you can see by the map, he's missing about 50 meters of max view range. So that's 440, maybe 435, and there you go, that just proves it. So he's over there in those bushes. Now what does he do here? Alright, so the view game is now in play, which means he needs to close the distance, and the only way to close the distance is to come from a direction that will obscure vision, which means he needs to go through the town. The town has the most structures involved in blocking vision. So he's going to make his way over there now and start from the top. The 5100 is going to have 6 shells. 6 opportunities to kill him, and I'm pretty sure the 5100 will be full health. I have not seen him all game, which means he's been sniping. Dirty sniper. So it's 93 health versus, I think it's 1500 on the 5100. We'll find out eventually, won't we? Making his way through the town here is Pat, closing the distance, using these bushes to their advantage. Still not within 400 meters. Right, now the 400 meters comes into play. Now how much further does he go? He decides to sit out in the open. This was a mistake, but he thinks he's over in that direction there. You see where he just pointed his turret? That's where he thinks this 5100 is. So instead of driving out down and around and giving that 5100 the opportune moment to strike, he's instead going to drive south towards the cap, keeping the 445 meters away from that hill, which he believes the 5100 is on. Now this looks like it's going to be a mistake. I don't believe that he should be jumping on the cap here, and I think that's what Pat's thinking as well. I should jump on the cap. I don't think he should be, but this might be bait, it might not be. There is cover in front of him if he decides to use it. To his left hand side, that is. We'll find out in a moment. Alright, so the 5100's been spotted. He's completely exposed here. This first shot needs to land from the 5100. But there's the accuracy of this 5100 in play. Or the aim time, should I say. Which is 3.5. Which is a very long time. And it's the biggest difference. In an armored tank such as this versus a 5100 who doesn't have armor, you simply don't need to aim for weak points. So it's an interesting fight. All he has to do is land one shell. But in order to do that, he, with only using AP, oh, he can't get to the other side of the house, blocks his shot. Can he land a second shot? He can. 5100 decides not to take the snapshot, which was a huge mistake. Now he's just 2 shots away from losing. He needs to get a shot in, and he's afraid to do anything. Is he tracked? He is tracked. There's the shot that matters. That's 4 shells out. He's still got 2 more. 5100. Here's the shot that should count. Oh, he doesn't take it. And that is just humiliating to go out like that. And I'm not sure what Pat decided to type in the chat at the end there, but let's just assume it was GG. Well, look at that. Well, an ace tanker, gee, I wonder. 15 bonds, that's a really good haul at tier 8. Radley Walters medal for killing 8 or 9 enemy vehicles. You got the Khmelevsky medal. Congratulations. That was, out of all the Khmelevskys that I've seen, that one was worth it. I mean, although the enemy really did screw up their approach to killing you, you put them in a situation where you punished them for missing their opportunities, and you deserve to come through with the Khmelevskys in that regard. Steel wall for blocking 1000 H, receiving 10 or more hits. 11. Oh, it's now 11. I thought it used to be 10. Yeah, blocking more than 1000. High caliber and obviously Top Gun. Yeah, he did 8.3k damage. Received 2,334 experience. 8 kills. And I mean, look at this. Look, he blocked 3,700 damage. 18 hits received. Only 5 went through. Nearly killed him with those 5. Non-penetrating 13. 3,700 damage blocked. He travelled 4 kilometers, which is quite a hefty mileage in a heavy tank. He fired 29 shots, 25 hit, only 22 penned. And he fired a HE round at some stage. Did not notice that. And because this was a premium tank, he made a hefty profit of 167,000, from which he started with 204 battle payments, which was a clan reserve. He got 40 extra, which equaled out to 244, and he walked away with 167. And his account rating, which top experience ever, will be 3,501. If he hasn't already gotten more than that, that's what will now be on his account. But a bloody good effort. Bloody good effort. This was a good game to watch, and it just showcased how strong this tank is. I hope I could make it clearer that this tank is OP. I showed you where the weak points are and how you have to approach it if you want to kill one of these, but that's not enough weak points. There's 2 little things on the top. They're pretty hard to hit, but they are your only answer. Unless you have 230 mils of pen, you can go through the lower plate. But other than that, it is just these two things on the top. So yeah, that's Heavy Tank Thursday. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more content. I will be doing some news videos this weekend, and I do make this a weekly thing. And I'll catch you next week, comrades.